Hey, Jeff.
Craig.
Good to see
buddy?
you again.
Man, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see
It's
you.
been a month.
Yeah, good to see all our podcast listeners again.
Yeah.
Sorry
Reacquaint.
about
By the way,
that.
yeah, we are Craig and Jeff, in case you
we're
forgot.
Craig and Jeff.
Yeah.
I was getting there, man.
Well, it's just more like, I just wanted to make sure that, we were like, you may have forgotten us. We're still alive. We're still here. We're still here.
And this is Podcast versus Everyone, episode something. And
242, my friend.
242. I'm Craig Powers.
242.
With me, as usual, is Jeff Newser.
Hello.
And Jeff, lots happened in sports, Wazoo sports, since we last talked, but we won't rehash all of that. We'll talk about what's happened most recently.
Yeah. The basketball season hadn't even started yet.
Yeah.
The last time we recorded.
Well, I will say when we get to that part, probably wouldn't have been a lot of happy talk.
Well, it's still not a lot of happy talk, but that's
still
okay.
not. But at least it's not, week after week of us saying
that's
the same
true.
stuff.
That's true. I mean, there are positives. There are positives.
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. I don't know how many times we can go to the well, but yeah, let's start with a happy thing that happened on Saturday. Wazoo football got to bowl eligibility once again. Really, it's only been one full season since 2015 that WSU has not gotten bowl eligible.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. I know you had a number one overall pick at quarterback, and you had all this talent, like multiple NFL players, but I guess it was
multiple
rough to
NFL
get to
players,
6 wins. But yeah. But other than that year, and other than the COVID year, this is another bowl. And honestly, I think we talk about it before the season. With this schedule, obviously after the way it started, we were having some reservations about the coach, to say the least. Yeah. But they really got, especially on defense, is what we wanted to see. And they really got the defense together. The defense was fucking awesome the last 7 games of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why they got to 6 wins. And us feeling like, damn, they could have won 8. And with a competent offense, they could have had specifically maybe some QB play here and there.
Not naming any names.
Could have had 8 wins. But you know what? It was really nice to just destroy the Beavers. I did not say a different word there that I thought about, but it was like it was nice. I was at the stadium. It was just good vibes. Just to they were pummeling them from the start. Oregon State just didn't even look like. That is exactly what we thought the game would look like in Corvallis. Yeah, Oregon State looked like they had no chance at any point. Like they didn't get inside the red zone until, garbage touchdown. Yeah. They just, they were, obviously they're playing a freshman quarterback, who was struggling mightily. Yep. But
I honestly think he pulled off like better than I would have expected.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like he had his moments of looking pretty okay. He just made some very dumb errors that, you might expect for a freshman. I was surprised Akey went with him.
Shout out to the Coug defense. He was under siege a lot. What we've learned,
they made sure he was uncomfortable all day.
Over the season, when the defensive line was healthy, they were just monsters, and even against the best competition that they played, which is as good of competition as WSU has played in any Pac-12 season. This was as tough of a schedule overall as WSU would have ever played in the old Pac-12, and it's going to be a tougher schedule than they'll play next season, to be honest. And to get 6 wins, even with losing to Oregon State, like that. Just that was one you're like, oh, they got to get that one. And to get to the 6, that's just great. And they get a bowl game. It very clearly meant a lot to them. They were playing their butts off in that game, and the celebrations videos were super fun to watch afterwards. Yep. And I even, I don't really comment on WSU socials that often, but they posted like bowl eligible, and I commented, I will never ever take that for granted, because those of us remember like 2003 to 2015 or 2013 when there was no bowl games for a decade, and then there was one over 14 years or whatever, and now we've got so almost every year for over a decade or a decade at this point, and that is exactly where you want to be, and that's across multiple coaches, and that is just unprecedented in Wazoo football history. You now have 2 consecutive coaches who went to a bowl game in their first season, and then you have 3 consecutive coaches who have been to a bowl game. And so this is just unprecedented stuff. Yeah. And I guess there was 3 consecutive coaches. Erickson, Price, and Doba did go to bowl games. But yeah, like just have the rapid change and still have some continuity, not of style, but of success. And what we did see this year is they were clearly better than Oregon. They played 3 teams that are going to be in their league next year, on their schedule next year. They beat the crap out of San Diego State. They were clearly better than Oregon State. Honestly, that Corvallis game was a fluke, a nightmare. It was just it could not have gone any worse, and they still almost won it. And that was really what it took for them to lose that game, was just like, just your big players having terrible. But clearly better than Oregon State, beat the heck out of Colorado State. Yeah. So you're looking at, okay, that's 3, and then one of those programs was actually good this year, San Diego State.
San Diego State was a good team.
One of those programs is one you expect to be one of the top programs in the conference over and over again. So that leaves you with a good feeling. If you look at the point differential on those, 21 in 2 games at Oregon State, 17 Colorado State, and what was it? 29 to 20, 31 to, what was it? I don't know, it was long ago, but we're looking like, almost 60 points point differential in those across those 4 games. That's pretty damn good. So there's a lot to, go back and tell Craig and Jeff after the UW game that it gets better.
It's going to be okay.
The defense will figure it out. Yeah. I know you just saw them give up 118 points in 2 games.
That's insane.
I know you just saw UW
for real
go score every time they had the ball, but it gets better.
It's almost hard to imagine. I mean, we lived it, we watched it. It's hard to still for my brain to compute the fact that there were those 2 games where they looked like it wasn't fluky. They got stomped. They got run up and down the field. They got run over. They got run through. They looked, I mean, we were talking about things like, holy shit, this is the moment when you brought all those guys from South Dakota State and you just got your shit exposed. And it's like, oh my God, okay, you can compete with Idaho, you can compete with San Diego State, right? But now you got to compete with, North Texas. What the fuck? North Texas looked like a million times more athletic. And then Washington, of course, Washington does, and they just destroy. It was okay, well, this is the deal then. We're dealing with FCS athletes. They're going to get exposed over and over. God, who knows what, fucking Mississippi and Virginia are going to look like. Yeah. Whatever. Hopefully maybe against the teams with lesser athletes we do okay. And then they fixed it. Like they just fixed it. They went to Colorado State and shut them down. You're like, okay, Colorado State, right? They kind of suck. They end up firing their coach, right? So that you're like, all right, well, back on track. 3 points, that's really good. I mean, we watched that game in flat stick, right, before we went to a Sounders match.
Yeah.
And then after that, then it was okay, Mississippi. Well, all right, well, maybe Mississippi's a little flat. They were looking ahead. They were whatever. And then the next week against Virginia. And you're like, well, shit, man, I don't have a lot of excuses to make for this one. Like maybe the defense sort of figured it out. And as we went through the year, obviously they had. And that was pretty incredible and pretty amazing.
Yeah, they completely shut down Toledo.
Yep.
Who was, and they completely shut down the Beavers twice on offense, and they
shut down everyone.
They shut down.
Right?
Everyone.
I mean, relative to what those teams have been doing, Mississippi, relative to what Mississippi is, they more or less shut them down.
Virginia got like basically at much of their points from turnovers, or really stupid safeties that followed a really dumb play.
Yep. And then you look at James Madison, and they completely shut them down outside of 2 explosive plays, which that's not to say they don't count or something. They obviously count. James Madison, tons of credit for those 2 play designs. They obviously saw something. They exploited it. That's what you should do. Good for them. Congratulations. Kudos. I hope they make it to the playoff. Like, that'd be great for us. But it's like outside of those 2 plays, like it was a whole lot of nothing, right?
Yep.
And so you just like over and over and over again. It didn't matter who the opponent was. It didn't matter what the style was. And that was the thing that kind of got me was like, Toledo wanted to run. Okay, great. They can't run against us because our run defense kicks ass. Okay, great. Louisiana Tech has no quarterback, so they can't throw. So they try to run. Doesn't work, right? Okay. And then you go Oregon State. They also try to run on us with no first time around with no quarterback who can throw. That doesn't work out. So then we got, James Madison. Their quarterback can throw. He's not a great thrower, but he can throw. He's a dual threat guy who can throw. And he looked horrible. And then you come back for Oregon State the second time around. Akey goes with the freshman. Clearly the best, like of what we saw of the 3 different quarterbacks, he was clearly the best passer, which total side note, if I'm a Beaver fan, I'm like fucking pissed that this guy hasn't been starting because he looks really good. The mistakes he made against us were pretty freshman mistakes. Like he just didn't, he's trying to make a throw under pressure, didn't see a guy, throws it right to a defender who's undercutting a route or something, right? I mean, those are like freshman mistakes, but when he had a clean pocket, he could throw okay. But like, again, we, disrupted him and made life difficult for him. And, so they actually tried to throw it more than you would expect. So Parker Fleming, who does CFB graphs, has this one stat, run rate over expected, right? Where it's like, okay, given down in distance, how much are you running more or less than what would be expected? And, when we played Toledo and La Tech and, their run rates were way over expected because like they couldn't throw against us. Right. Well, in this game, Oregon State's run rates were below expected. Like there were plenty of situations where you would have expected them to run and they didn't. And they thought their best chance of beating us was with this kid throwing. And, and that didn't work out either. So, in the one touchdown they scored, we had a whole bunch of backups in, not all backups, but probably about half the unit was like 3rd, 4th string guys. So, I mean, I don't feel bad about that. They dominated them from start to finish to go to that bowl game. And like you said, bowl games are a big deal, man. And, they kind of become old hat for us fans. And I imagine if, we don't know where we're going yet. I imagine wherever we go, it's like the 2 that seem to be the 2 that are projected are New Mexico and Hawaii. I imagine either of those will be pretty lightly attended. Right?
And also
because
both of them are a road game.
Yeah.
You're playing Hawaii
There'll be a road game
in one and you're playing New Mexico in the other.
But it's like they'll be pretty lightly attended. So for fans, it will be, travel and whatever. And, a lot of our fans traveled to Mississippi and traveled to Virginia. And like they did the whole thing during the season. So totally get it. So in this case, like the reward of the bowl game in my eyes is more for the team and the coaches. And I just don't think you can overlook the fact that these guys, so many of these, obviously the whole coaching staff came from more or less South Dakota State. So many players came from South Dakota State and FCS, and all of those folks were giving up a shot at another national championship, right? Like these are guys who won a national championship, FCS, 2 years ago. They gave up that shot to come here. I'm not sure what Jimmy's pitch was to come play, like, come play for me. We have no conference. We can't win a conference championship. Come here. Like, I'm not sure how that was super convincing, but he got all these guys to come and play with him and play for him. And, you know, the payoff, I think, at least needed to be a bowl game for them. And that's the part that I'm thrilled about, is they will be thrilled to be at the bowl game. As we know, we have seen over the last few years, the players not always thrilled to be at the bowl game, lots of opt-outs, lots of transfers. I mean, even going back to, you know, what was it, 21, right, where Jaden Delora starts and then sort of like mysteriously can't return in the second half, right?
Starts
and you know, half of his
awful.
offensive line opted out, and it just like the whole thing was a disaster. And it's like this team is not going to do that. I'm actually really excited to watch that game. Now I'm praying, crossing my fingers, that it is the Hawaii Bowl, because the New Mexico Bowl is on my anniversary, and I really would rather not go down that road. And my wife is very understanding. I think we've covered this on the podcast. Like, we went to the Holiday Bowl in 2003 on my honeymoon. My wife's amazing. I also don't want to ask that question. Like, I don't even want to be like, hey, honey, you know, the Cougars are playing a bowl game today. You know, I'd much rather Christmas Eve, way easier. So please,
Also,
Hawaii.
For the players, you know which one they want to go to. Like, that's easy.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to play at 5,000 feet in the middle of winter?
In Albuquerque.
Or do you
want to go to Maui?
Paradise.
I don't know, man. That's a tough choice.
Do you want to go snorkeling and not put a shirt on all week? I don't know.
I'm sure who's our interim AD, John Harlow, I'm sure he would much rather go to New Mexico, because it's going to cost a fucking fortune to fly everybody to Hawaii on short notice. But
I saw one of our in the podcast, like someone mentioning they were going to visit their family member in Hawaii for Christmas, and they had to cancel because it was just basically over $1,000 a ticket.
Yeah, $1,000 a round trip ticket.
Yeah, and so I don't see many Cougs on 2 weeks' notice making it out
and it's
to Hawaii.
Going to be like flying the team out there is going to cost a fortune.
There was not insignificant number of Cougs that just flew out to Hawaii for the Maui Invitational.
Yep. That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There were quite a few of them there.
Like a year in advance.
Yep.
It's that there was a pretty good showing of Cougs, like in the stands at those games.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. So football, 6-6, huge accomplishment. Anytime first year Wazoo coach can get to a bowl game, big accomplishment. Especially, you know, all the roster turnover, the stylistic changes. You're just implementing an entirely new program. Nothing is there's no continuity whatsoever. You have a few offensive pieces, and that was pretty much it.
Well, and they're clearly not a finished product. Like, that's the other thing I think that's exciting is, you know, you look at it and you go, okay, the defense was incredible. And obviously a big part of that was a lot of the guys who came over from from South Dakota State, you know, kind of giving you maybe a little bit of a baseline. But so many different guys played, and not all of them seniors. You're like, okay, yeah, you're going to lose, you know, some of the guys that you really relied on for sure. I mean, you're going to lose, you know, Tucker Large is a big name, you know, that comes to mind. Cale Reeder, you know, obviously a senior. I mean, you can kind of go down and there's, you know, a handful of seniors. But so many guys played that you're like, all right. And then a lot of those guys that played are guys they brought in, transfer portal kind of at the end, you know, filling spots, filling gaps.
I think Caleb Francel's probably another one we could throw in there as well.
Yep, Caleb Francel's another one for sure.
But
it's like they've shown an ability to identify talent in backfill, right? And they did it under really bad circumstances last year. So a huge amount of confidence the defense can maintain. I don't know if they'll be this good. I would think they would be, but maybe not. I don't know. But lots of room to grow on offense. And, we don't need to get into the nitty gritty of areas where, the offense was pretty disappointing. But it's like the big thing is obviously lots of room to grow there. And even just like you talked about earlier, 8 wins, 9 wins was on the table here. If the offense had been 10% better, 15% better, like really not much, right? Just marginally better, they win 1, 2, maybe 3 more games. Like,
they lost to Ole Miss by 3. They
Yep.
lost to UVA by 2, and a lot of that was directly because of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the points that defense gave up was
Yep.
because of the offense. And they lost Oregon State by 3. That's
By
3
3.
games. They lost
Yep.
to James Madison by 3. It's
Yep.
there's just like so many games where and you just felt like once they fell down at James Madison, okay, that nothing.
Yeah.
Or what was it 4? I don't like it was.
Yeah.
But once they fell down,
It
you're
was
like
4,
this.
but
They're not.
whatever.
They're not coming back. And once even Oregon State, once they fell down, you were like, I don't know if they can come back. And
Yeah.
and they were definitely like when they were front running, it was fine. Obviously, and at home, the offense definitely was more effective. Even if you go back to when Potter was starting, San Diego State, nice showing against a good defense. Against Toledo, 28 points against a real solid defense. Louisiana Tech, 28 points, and then putting up 32 against the Beavs. Those are numbers that in any season with this defense, if it's going to be like what we expect it to be under Rodgers, those are going to win you so many games. If you get to 20, obviously, if they got to 28 at Ole Miss, at UVA, those are wins. So that's just if they got to 11 in Corvallis, it was a win.
Yeah.
So if it's just the offense, the QB is going to be a huge question going forward, obviously. But here's the thing. Usually, WSU, when we're losing a quarterback, a senior quarterback, we're like, oh, crap, that guy was so good. Yep. What are we going to do without him? Going into next year, we're looking at QB as a place of improvement and a place you expect to improve. And look,
frankly, it won't take much to improve.
Especially throwing the ball, and just cutting down on turnovers, because this is not a style of football that can absorb 2-3 turnovers in a game.
No,
it's just not. Nope. It's not the style. And I would expect just by random fucking chance the defense will get more turnovers next year. To only get what they ended up with, they get 3 picks against Oregon State or 2.
2. Yeah, they got 2.
So and they
basically doubled their total.
They ended up with 5 on the year.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And 3 of them were in the last couple games.
Yes.
So they were starting to. It was starting to come around.
Yeah.
But a lot of that stuff is luck.
It's random. A lot of it.
And with a defense that's so stifling, you would expect there just to, you'll get a pick here and there.
Yeah.
The fumble will go your way. Yeah. Oregon State, it was all the regression. Like they got all the fumbles, they got all the picks. Any bad throw, they were snatching that thing out of the air. Even the juggling interception, in the second half. You're like, oh, he's dropping it. No, he's got it. He's got it.
I know. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly like, no, yeah, oh, yes.
No, wait.
But yeah, that was just the Oregon State game, for many reasons, was, I went to 4 Pullman games, and that was the most fun one to watch. One, because you're playing a team that and that you really want to beat.
Yeah.
And 2, the offense was actually showing some stuff. The defense was getting turnovers. That's always much more fun as a fan. And so that was all around fun game. A great way to end the regular season. Get 6 wins. We're going to a bowl game. Now we have to look forward, Jeff, We have to look forward. Always, always, always look to the future.
That's
even
right.
if these players are often just 1 year, we still pretend that the high school recruits are going to be here for 4 years and we're going to develop them all the way through. But so yeah, it was signing day, which means so much less than it used to.
Yeah.
I
I wonder how many people who listen to the show are the Coug Center old heads who used to hang out with us like
24
all day,
hours
or I don't know. When we did the 24-hour one, that was the most psycho shit we ever did. Like, I don't know how many listeners remember
live
that.
chat.
We literally had a live chat for 24 hours. We were like, we're gonna do 24 hours of signing day, and so we literally stayed up all night.
Technically, the premium podcast Slack is a 24-hour live.
It is
chat
true. Technically true. Technically true.
Technically true.
You
have
literally
people
can
around
get
the
on there and
world.
post 24 hours a day. So
Yeah. People from around the world in there, all time zones. We got it.
But like, one of the things that as I look at the recruiting, one of the things that, we kind of said 2 years ago was that it's really imperative that at the end of these 2 years that we are positioned to be at the top of whatever this next iteration of the Pac-12 is. And however that works, however that's going to be, like we cannot take big steps backwards and be trying to catch up to teams like, Boise State or whatever. Like we got to be ready to go. And I think that, right now we see with the coaching staff, I think that's where we are, right? Like we won 8 games in the first year of the Wilderness under Dickert. He leaves, like the whole fucking roster leaves pretty much. And new coach comes in, he's got to fill, 70 roster spots. He does it and still wins 6 games against a way harder schedule, right, than we had last year. You mentioned that.
As you've said, a harder schedule than you've said in the Slack than a lot of Power 4 teams.
Yes. Yeah. Harder schedule by FPI. So ESPN has their FPI. It's whatever. Their advanced power metric, right? By FPI, we had a tougher schedule than 17 different Power 4 programs, including Wake Forest. Just throwing that out there.
But the ACC is so good, so tough.
The ACC was fucking horrible. And it's like, okay, so our schedule went from last year it ranked 105th, I think is what it was, which, thank you, Mountain West, for your shitty opponents that you made us play. And then this year is 51. So, like, jumping up 50 spots in difficulty. If we'd played a schedule like we played last year, we might have won 8 or 9 games pretty easily. You know, and if that's the case, right? If last year's team also probably wins 6 games because, by the way, 2 years in a row finished the exact same rank in FPI, number 65, which is an average-ish, FBS team. Like to go through what we went through and not experience a severe drop-off is the sort of thing that makes you think even bigger things are in the future. And when we look at, the fact that, okay, we really should have beaten Oregon State twice. I know we didn't, but whatever. We outplayed them twice for sure, right? So that we're sort of separated above Oregon. I mean, they're a fucking mess, right? They don't even have they do have a coach now, Jamarcus Shepard, who coached at Wazoo however many years ago. They've got a coach now, but, they're going off 2 years of not making a bowl game. They went from, making a bowl game to 5 wins, I think, last year to 2 wins this year. They are a mess. They are a fucking mess. Okay.
And their coach that bailed on them just got fired after those 2 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Jonathan Smith just got fired at Michigan State. So that just worked out great for everyone. And so we're above that. We're going to a bowl game. Like on the field, we can say, yeah, like we are still pretty well positioned heading forward. And then you look at recruiting. It's like, okay, where do we rank there? And so signed a class of, 27 guys today or something. Huge number for an early signing day. Usually those are maybe a little smaller, and then you're kind of filling out in the second signing day. Not this time. Huge class right off the top. Currently ranks like second, third in what's going to be the new Pac-12. Boise State is kind of solidly up above. But we're right there. We were second earlier today. We dropped below Texas State by like this much later in the day. So whatever, it's kind of a dead heat. And you go, okay, so recruiting wise, you're right up there, right? Like that's where you want to be positioned. You want to be ahead of your peers. That's where we're positioned. Also, overall nationally, I don't know what the final number is right now, but when I looked earlier today, it was 61. Maybe
64 right now.
Okay, 64 right now. Honestly, that is where we have lived most of the time throughout our history, to be honest. Now, we had some classes, I think, in the mid to upper 50s when Leach was here. I think we may have even had
like
one class in the 40s. Yeah, I think we may have had one or two classes in the top 40. Yeah. Top 50, like in the 40s.
With that really, that incredible early staff, that 2015-16 staff.
Yeah. But then, like, toward the end of his tenure, we were like upper 50s, low 60s. Like, this is kind of where we've lived. And, of course, you always want to be better than that. But if we're talking about how to maintain, like,
obviously,
the program's level.
Those high 40s recruiting classes turned into the 2018 team.
Yeah.
So we know that does matter.
It does matter. Anybody who ever says it doesn't matter is full of shit. It does matter. I'm sorry. It matters. It doesn't mean you can't overcome it. It doesn't mean there aren't other ways to get where you're going, but it does matter. And so the fact that we're living in that area where we have lived through most of our recent history, that's a good thing. Like, cause it does matter. Yeah. So we can I'm excited
to at the very least maintain, but obviously because we saw, in the dark times before Leach,
the dark times,
there were some recruiting classes in the 80s, and those did not turn out so well.
No.
With what Leach had to inherit and all that stuff, that the talent on those rosters. But coach after coach has been able to maintain at least the 50s and 60s, and so we haven't had a significant talent drop off. I mean, we have, if you look at 2018 and now, yes,
sure,
but if in the 2020s we've been able to maintain, I would say, like the 2023 team or whatever was insanely talented. And probably should have won more games. Also last year, definitely should have won more than 8
Definitely
games.
should have won more games.
But yeah, just got to get a few more digs in. But yeah, so this is positive. 60. I will say it's so weird reading the recruiting classes now. Because you have a lot of the SEC teams, they're only taking 15 guys right now. Yeah, because they're going portal.
Because it's going to be portal time.
Yeah, and so one thing you look at the average, the average quality of recruit. So we're around 85 and a half, and then Duke's right above us. They're at 87, and like because they only have 15 commits, it's like the total points end up being about the same.
Right.
So that's like, if we had 15 commits, our recruiting class wouldn't look quite as good, but also this is how we're going to have to live. Like we're going to have to have, and the positive is it's a lot of like mid 3-star kids. You're not having those like 2-star kids that we had under Wolf that really torpedoed the program.
Yep.
And that's positive. Yeah. And again, like you said, it's positive. We're better than most of the Mountain West. Much better than Penn State. I think it's around 150 or something at this point.
That's a bit of a mess right there. Those poor guys.
Who is last we checked lower than Columbia, the University of Columbia,
God.
The famous football powerhouse.
Yeah.
So you could be in that situation right now.
Yeah.
But again, they're also Wazoo's gonna have kids that transfer out. Wazoo's gonna have kids that transfer in. So we're gonna see that. But the positive thing is aside. Obviously, there's gonna be coaching changes. that will upset things.
Yep.
But for the large part, there was only one portal window this year.
Yep.
And it's January 2nd through 16th. So it's after we play a bowl game and before spring ball.
Yep.
So it's just kids can come and go freely then. And then if there's a coaching change, the kids on that team are then like fair game or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so it's barring like crazy late spring coaching changes. Like a lot of it's going to be done by the January 16th. And also the positive thing is this is not happening before most bowl games.
Yes.
Most bowl games that kids would normally transfer out of, like, obviously the kids in the college football playoff, largely, they're going to stay. Right. If they're still in it, they're going to stay in. but like the kids, obviously kids will opt out knowing they're going to transfer. But also there's some, there is some motivation to show out if you really want to transfer. If you there's really money out there for you and you think you're on the fringe, you can play those games. And so I think this is going to have a positive effect on the bowl season overall. It's going to have a positive effect on spring ball. I'm really glad they made this change. They need to rein this in where they can. Yeah. Because they just let it go batshit crazy when for the combination of the transfer portal and NIL, things that in a vacuum seem fine and seem very positive for the players in particular. When you put them two together with no governance whatsoever, we saw it, which is crazy, but now hopefully this will improve WSU's bowl game. We'll have something better to watch for once. Not like last year's game against Syracuse was fun but just because we had literally no expectation. We had no players left, and they got a lead at the start of the game, and you were excited, and
it was fun as hell. We were just like, "Woo, let's go! This is not going to last, but we're having a great time."
But it would be great. It would be great to see a lot of the players that we were watching for 12 games play a bowl game like in the old days,
and they really want to win.
They want
to go to a bowl game, and they really want to win.
You want to finish 7-6 and not 6-7.
No. I mean, look, we all remember 2013, how shitty that felt, finishing 6-7. Like, it sucked,
same
man.
With 2019, losing Air Force and finishing 6-7.
It sucks.
So that's totally just, you had a losing season. Yeah, you went to a bowl game, but you had a losing season. So, there's hopefully we'll see just much more quality across bowl games this year. And
I think so.
I think so. I hope so. But, so football recruiting. But, Jeff, I don't know if you want to do beer first before we talk about basketball, or do you?
I mean, sure. I mean, beer before basketball. I think I need a couple.
Now. I need a couple big swigs before we talk about basketball.
Yeah. All right. Well, so, I mean, we definitely need to continue to lube up to talk about that team.
So, Jeff, right now, what are you drinking?
All right, I got the Fresh Wet Pills collaboration.
Yeah. This is a family podcast.
Yeah. Fresh Wet Pills. I said pills. Collaboration between Cloudburst and Gold Dot. By the way, it's not a fucking family podcast.
Not a fucking
what the
family
fuck are you talking about? My kids listen to this thing and they're like, man, Dad swears a lot. Like wait till your girls start listening to this shit. And they're going to be like, wow, Daddy. Because they'll find it. They will fucking find it on a podcast service. Or on YouTube or something.
They'll be like their mom and just not care.
Yeah, I mean, they may not. You swear a lot anyway, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, collaboration, Cloudburst Gold Dot. It's delicious. This is brewed, just so you know, brewed with freshly kilned Tetnang and wet Halartau from Goshi Farms. Those, I swear to God, those fucking were made up by ChatGPT, and they put it on here as a joke because that doesn't even sound real. But anyway, it says it's unbeatably fresh and most triumphantly thirst quenching, which I do agree. I don't think it actually has a stamp on it for when it was canned, but Oh, wait, nope, there it is. You deserve this beer. Yes, it's quite old. October 7th. October 7th. But I figured we'd be, it's a little oldish.
You're under 2 months. You're good.
Yeah, it's oldish, but it's a lager. I felt like that wouldn't be, or a Pilsner. I have
Pilsner
another
is a
lager.
lager.
But
Pilsner
anyway,
is a lager.
Anyway. So, delicious. Definitely, got that fresh hoppy taste. I think that it probably has mellowed out quite a bit. But for me, like fresh hop Pilsners, lagers, not usually my go-to, just because, I more associate that with the sort of the flavor profile of an IPA, probably mostly because that's just what I've had. But at the same time, it's like when you get two amazing breweries together, like Cloudburst and Gold Dot, and Gold Dot especially, makes some really amazing Pilsners and lagers. So, really great beer. How about you, man?
Gold Dot is a side project of Heater Allen, which also makes incredible lagers and pilsners.
Yeah, Gold Dot, most well known by me for making a Dortmunder. Love their Dortmunder.
Heater Allen. So Gold Dot, they experiment more. Heater Allen's more traditional style.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although my friend, who has spent some time in Germany and has a girlfriend now in Germany and has visited Tacoma a few times, will tell you that she thinks every single lager that she tastes here is just entirely too hopped up, and it doesn't. and honestly, I've had
those German purity laws, my man.
We were so excited to have her try the Freem Pills on draft at Side Pony, and honestly, I tried it and I was like, yeah, this is really hoppy. I never even thought about that before.
Did you give her an old Crimson? Did you give her an old Crimson?
I don't think she ever had Old Crimson, but she probably thinks that's too hoppy too.
Missed opportunity there.
That's not the traditional German style.
No, it's not.
The style of American light lager.
Yeah.
So we were obviously we were gone over the Thanksgiving holiday. I was in Pullman. My family was in Yakima. We didn't get a huge jump on the Christmas decorating because we wait until after Thanksgiving, nothing before. No Christmas music, none of that until after Thanksgiving.
Ooh, you're hardcore.
But today we put on some Christmas records and decorated the tree and all that stuff. So that was nice. My wife baked cinnamon rolls just so it would smell like cinnamon.
Wow.
Straight from the can.
Those stuff. Are the best ones.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so it was a good vibe. So I went down and I pulled a big old barley wine.
I was gonna say it looked like a barley wine.
3 Rise Men from Rubens. What year is this? I don't know. Probably like 2018, 2019, I would imagine. So it's probably quite old at this point. I couldn't tell you exactly. If I looked at my there is the year, but it's in Roman numerals.
Drum roll.
Jeff, it is MMX1X. So that would be 2019.
2019.
Okay, so this is a
Aren't you impressed I figured that out so fast?
Yeah. 2019.
2019.
3 Rise Men.
6-year-old barley wine.
6-year-old.
Which, of course, had been aged for some time before that.
Yeah, in a whiskey barrel. Or in a bourbon barrel. They didn't say exactly how long. It was a barley wine brewed with multiple types of rye and aged in whiskey barrels.
Okay.
But yeah, 3 Rise Men. 3 wise men.
Yes,
so very on theme Christmas.
Yes, we get the pun.
I also drinking out of my Christmas-themed barley wine glass.
I love it.
So this is making fun of a lot of breweries will make merch and like labels that just like straight up rip off IP from like video games and like all it, like it's like the nostalgia stuff. And so they made it so this is like kind of it's a walrus because there's a barley called Maris Otter that's often used in barley wines, and so it's a little otter right here, and then they have
Okay, I love it.
a walrus, and looks like Mega Man, and he's shooting cease and desist letters out of his gun. But it was
I wondered what those letters were. I'm like looking, going
they're
like,
cease and desist letters. But
That's
this is the
funny.
Christmas version. So we wear a little Santa hat, and the walrus has
I
little
love it.
reindeer ears, and on the side it's obviously says barley wine is life, and it's from Don't Drink Beer, my favorite beer blog.
That's right.
And Permanent Hangover, which is a like beer goofy lifestyle brand. I have and now you have an Old Crimson.
Time for the Old Crimson.
I have a sweatshirt from Permanent Hangover that just says, like, it embroidered on the chest just says, "I feel like shit," which is fun to wear sometimes. So this
accurate.
is good. It's good. It is aged well. Nice body on it. When in 2019, I probably would have wanted a little bit thicker body, but now I think this is fucking perfect. It's tight. It's well done. Like, it tastes so good. Barley wines age incredibly well. 6 is a long time, maybe a little longer than you should age them, but you know what? Whatever. It still tastes really good. It's just in my basement, which is like naturally climate controlled. It's just fine, and it tastes good. So good job, Rubens. Good job brewing
Way to
this
go.
like forever ago, and I am enjoying it now.
Love it.
Rubens. They have a new tap room downtown, not far from the Showbox. So I've went there before a show now. So good.
Yeah,
it's a good spot.
You
Good
know,
food.
you know what's not aging well, Craig? Our basketball team.
My teenage
I tried.
basketball
I
coach.
tried. Yeah, our boy wonder basketball coach not aging well.
It's carded at the Coug.
Yeah,
he's plenty old enough. He's 38.
yeah,
whatever
he definitely is, but
he
doesn't look like
young.
it. He doesn't look like it. We should all be so blessed.
And also, I appreciate a basketball coach that goes and hangs at the Coug.
I do. Listen,
but
everything that we're about to say should not be considered a personal slam on David Riley personally. It should be considered a valid critique of where the team is at under his direction, which appears to be lacking at the moment.
So we'll say in their they've had 3 of their finest, or 2 of their 3 finest losses in the last 3 games. But
You mean just like by quality of opponent, or?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And by how relatively close they were to said opponents.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously over the Thanksgiving break, they went over to Maui and almost lost to a Division II team.
Yes. Very easily could have.
And this is something you and I talked about. And it was obviously the next game where they should have nearly beat Arizona State.
They really should have.
By the way, not an amazing team. They're like 81st on KenPom.
No.
This
They're
is
just
largely
okay.
not that different from the expectation to lose by 6. But on a neutral site.
Yeah.
But still, they got up to play that game, with Ugbo out and Ace Glass. We talk. Well, when we get to we'll get to that in a sec. But they got up to play that game, and obviously they got up to play Bradley on the road, but there's just some things that fall flat. In the defense against Bradley was overall fine, but then falls apart towards the end. And then it was awful against Chaminade, awful against Arizona State. You're saying there now, it's come up like thanks to the 2 games against Seton Hall and Bradley, they are now up to 268th in adjusted defensive efficiency. They were in the 320s after the Arizona State game. And that is just you can't have one side of your ball be that bad. Like you just can't. You're not getting anywhere like that. You
not
can't
at this level. And that's kind of the key, right? Like we're talking like if you're doing this at Eastern Washington, you probably could get away with that, right? Like because the rest of the teams in your conference have shitty defenses and it's probably not that big of a deal. You can't get away with that at Washington State, right? Even in the WCC, you can't get away with that. I mean, you've got at the top of the conference, you've got Gonzaga, St. Mary's, USF, Santa Clara. All of those are like top 75 teams. You cannot get away with having a defense, hovering around 300. You just can't do it. And
add in that with the non-conference schedule they've played, where they've played UW, and they've played ASU, Seton Hall. They're going to play Nevada. They're going to be USC. A bunch of top 100 teams.
Yep.
You can't get away with that.
Nope.
And then this happens when you play Idaho, who's at 210. Davidson, who's at 124. Like you lose those games largely because you can't defend.
Well, and I'll even go so far as to say the game against Arizona State is kind of the perfect exemplar of the problem here, which is you have an almost perfect offensive night. You score once in a generation
performance.
Right. You score 1.32 points per possession, which for context is really high. Like 1.06 would be average. So 1.32. Huge. And that's largely because of an otherworldly performance by a freshman. Ace Glass scores 40 points. He plays out of his mind. He is scoring inside. He is scoring outside. He is getting to the line. He is fucking dominating this game, right? And he has an almost perfect game. You score 1.32 points per possession. The only other game that was more than that this year was Southern Utah. And I think last year we didn't ever score 1.32 points per possession. Like it's a huge number, right? And you still lose the game because your defense is just that atrocious, right? You give up 1.40 points per possession, which is one of the top 10 worst defensive efficiency performances since Ken Palm started tracking this shit back in like 1998.
On that point, Riley now has 3 of those top 10.
Yep.
In his first
3 of the 10 worst performances.
Not even 1.5 seasons of coaching here. He has 3 of the top 10 worst defensive performances by points per possession in the Ken Palm era, which goes back to 1997, which includes. Okay, I think these probably numbers go back to 2000. I actually think they go back to 98. 98. So this includes
or 99.
This includes Paul Graham and this includes Ernie Kent.
Yep.
Like and what you have in that top 10, you have one Ernie Kent game, a whole bunch of Paul Graham games, and now 3 David Riley games.
Yep.
And you do not want to be
like that.
You do not want to be in the conversation with those 2 Wazoo basketball coaches ever.
You can't win like that.
You can't.
And they should have beaten Arizona State. It should, you have this superhuman performance that should have easily won you a game, and it didn't. And so that's what you're dealing with right now. Now, granted, Bradley went pretty well, but I also feel like I don't know how much you got to watch that game. You were going to a concert, but like, I feel like being excited about the defense in that game is a little bit of like results-based analysis. Like, Bradley took 33 pointers. We kind of know that, and that was a season high for an opponent this year, which was a little surprising to me because it felt like Idaho and Davidson took a gazillion threes. So this was the most that an opponent had taken. As we know, one of the things about 3-point shots is they they tend to go with how open they are. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like teams don't take 30 contested threes. They take 30 open threes or 20 open threes and 10 contested threes or whatever. But it's like they're not taking 30
getting
contested.
to 30 without.
They're not getting
open.
to 30 if you are guarding the 3-point line well, right? So in that game last night, yes, Bradley shoots 7 of 30 from 3. That's more or less what keeps them in, keeps WSU in the game. That could have very easily been 10 of 30 or 12 of 30.
And then it's a
it would not have
game.
been crazy for them to make 3 or 4 or 5 more of those. And in that case, again, we're not in the game. So it's very frustrating. And then, of course, the defensive breakdown at the end that kills them. They got a lead, and then they're kind of fall apart, and then it's tied, and then you got a possession. And Bradley draws up a fairly simple drive and dish play that ends in a dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the sort of stuff that's like, man, like, come the fuck on. And the defense is so bad that I don't know who coaches the defense on that staff. I know it's not Riley, right? They've got a defensive coordinator in there, but like whoever it is, and I'm never like trying to advocate for people to lose their jobs. Like I don't want anybody to ever advocate for me to lose my job. Like I get it, but also like, man, the defense is fucking horrible. And it's like, if it's even just 10% better, like 10% better, and they've probably won 2 more games, right? And it's like, at that point, man, you got to do something different. And the fact that they just haven't, I mean, if you just simply brought in a new coach to coach the defense and you got 10% better, right? That's like a little amount, right? You get 10% better, like, or even 5% better. Even 5% better probably beats Arizona State, probably beats Bradley, right? You just get a little better on the margins. But, David Riley hired a guy and he's still there, and, you can't do it. And then it's compounded by the fact that the offense just isn't as good either. They're not getting as many easy looks. They're not as good. They're being saved right now by a freshman. And I don't know, man, it looks really bad.
Well, that's the thing is like you got 3 of the, and by the way, now I realize it goes, these historical records go back to 96, 97, because there is in our 4th best effective field goal percentage in the Cat Palm era, 11-23, 1996 against Boise State, 74-69 win. But yeah, so you have now 3 of the top 10 worst defensive performances in the last 29 seasons or whatever, and you have none of the top 10 best offensive performances. So if you're going to be that bad on one end, you got to be incredible on the other end. And you're not. Like they're above average nationally in offense, 112th. And opponent adjusted 1.11 points per possession. That's higher than the D1 average of 1.07. So yeah, their offense is above average, but their defense is so far below average that it's they don't balance. And
your offense has to be to overcome that. Your offense has to be elite, like Iowa. Like you're talking like Iowa, right? Like under Fran McCaffrey. Like that's what we're talking about. Your offense better be like a fucking top 40, top 30 offense if you're going to be down there in the 200s defensively. That's the only way you can balance it out.
Which I will say, like, it is incredibly hard to be that good offensively when your defense is that bad, because you are pulling the ball out of the net every single time. You're not getting any easy run out buckets. You're like you're having to run offense to score every single time, and that like teams are just generally less efficient when they have to walk the ball up the court and run their offense versus taking, getting a few fast break buckets a game you need those easy ones, but you're not getting them because you can't, like, as much as you want to, you can't run off of a made basket. And so, like,
Craig, that's not true. Our opponents can definitely run off of a made basket, and they often do.
Yeah,
and they've been doing that now for over a year, taking the ball out of the basket and just running down in transition right past our guys. It's amazing.
I will say one thing. They obviously had tried to address some things in the offseason. One thing they have drastically improved is defensive rebounding.
Yes.
Like, they are one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country.
Yep.
And they still are very bad.
And they're still terrible. Yeah, and I mean, the defensive rebounding is mostly Andy Okafor, right? Like, he turned from, and you don't see this very often, rebounding rates tend to be pretty stable. Maybe improve a little bit, but because there's so much, like, just physical ability involved, like, guys it's not a skill that tends to develop. Like, Andy Okafor went from being a pretty bad defensive rebounder for his size and strength and size of his hands and all that stuff to being now sort of a very, very good defensive rebounder. Yeah. And that's a big part of why they're doing it. But, like, they're still giving up tons of buckets even without the second chance points. Like, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's because they are, okay, they're 314th in 3-point percentage allowed. That speaks to leaving guys open. Jeff and I have talked and written about for years the best way to defend, and Ken Pomeroy has written it about for years, the best way to defend the 3-point line is to not let teams shoot 3-point shots. Yep. They are 261st in 3-point allowed per field goal attempt, 3-point attempt per field goal attempt. That's too high. Kyle was consistently incredibly low on that. Tony Bennett, incredibly low on that.
Run him off the line.
Yeah, even the pack defense wasn't allowing threes at that rate. In the old days when Ken had when he would try to determine what kind of defense it was based on the defensive profile, he would think this is a zone defense based on how many 3-pointers they allow and how many open 3-pointers they allow. So 314th in 3-point percentage, 2-point percentage, 330th.
Yeah,
so
that's
whatever
the
you
real
want to
issue.
do. A little
That's
bit unlucky. 76% from the free throw line, but the 2-pointers, 300.
The 2-pointers are the real issue, and the 2-pointers are the real issue on both ends. Buckets. The 2-pointers are the issue on both ends. Like, they are giving up twos. So, like, Bart Torvik. So, people who don't know, Ken Pom is like the most well known guy in terms of, like, analytics and stats and whatever. BartTorvik.com, very similar site. Just, it's his own take on it, whatever. But what he does, he'll color code the game plan. So he'll color code each game. And out of all of our games, there's only 2 games that have not been color coded red in terms of 2-point percentage allowed. Like, you can't be giving up, 55, 60% on twos every damn night. Like, that is,
by the way, they're giving up 59% on the season.
I mean, that is truly the crux of the issue defensively. So, I don't know how you fix that. Like, that's kind of the issue. And I guess this is where, like, as we try to figure out, like, how do things maybe get better or whatever. Like, David Riley, like, he appears to be having a crisis of identity as a coach. Yeah. Like, they, I use the phrase today that he seems to be trying to split the baby, which is, it's an old, like, Bible allusion, right? Where it's like talking about, okay, basically you're trying to come up with a solution to a dilemma by really not solving either end of the dilemma, right? Like, you're coming up with a solution that doesn't actually solve anything. It actually kind of makes things worse. And it's like, that seems to be kind of what he did. Like, here he's kind of trying to be better defensively, but it ain't working. The offense is suffering because of it. Like, the offensive personnel is not doing what David Riley offenses typically do. They typically get a ton of assists, a ton of easy baskets. Like, that is what they do. Yes, there's going to be turnovers. And we talked ad nauseum about the turnovers last year. But, like, if you're getting, if you're making twos at a rate that is like top, like, 10 in the country, which is what David Riley's offenses have been for years, like, you can put up with those turnovers because some of them are just, hey, you're making a quick pass. The pass wasn't as open as it should have been. Guy gets his hand in there, whatever. Okay. Like, or you make a quick pass. It's not an accurate pass. It goes out of bounds, whatever. But you can compensate for that, right? they can't compensate for that right now. They're still turning the ball over a ton against decent opponents. Against bad opponents, they've been okay, but decent opponents, they've still turned it over a ton. And you're not making twos at the same rate because you're not getting those easy buckets because your assist rate is way, way down. It's like they're not doing anything well right now. They're not even doing the things that David Riley typically does well. Like they're kind of bad at everything. Now, if we're looking for positives, right? And so like before we move on, like a couple things maybe to be positive about. Okay. Like we're like 8 games in, right? First 4 games, 3 of those games were fucking horrible, total train wreck, absolute disaster. The one, St. Thomas, that was kind of to me a weird like fluky outlier because St. Thomas's personnel is so bad, such a bad matchup for us.
Yeah.
Like they were just kind of fucked from the beginning on that. Okay. The last 5 games, last 5 games. Okay. 3 of those games, the game score, which sort of approximates the quality of your performance. 3 of those games of the 5, the game score has been 66 or 67. When you look at it, that basically is representing we were playing in those 3 games, and that was against Southern Utah and Arizona State and Bradley. Okay, Southern Utah is horrible, but Arizona State, top 100 team, Bradley, top 100-ish team, right? Those game scores represent a top 100-ish performance. Okay, so in 3 of the last 5 games, you played like roughly a top 100-ish team. Okay, that's way better than where we were at the first 4. A lot of that is personnel. Like Riley is distributing the minutes better to his better players. Ace Glass has moved into the starting lineup. And we haven't even really talked about him. He's fucking incredible. He's going to be gone after this year. I don't even care. Like, I'm just excited to have him for a year because he's fucking great. And so I'm so excited to just watch him play and have fun watching him play because he's amazing. He's the one guy on our roster who is clearly high major caliber. So great. Let him go off. Let him play. Wonderful. Him playing more has made things better. Great. Some other guys playing more and some other guys playing less. Adria Rodriguez, terrible. Playing less. Great. Like, okay.
Emily Yalaho is playing
Yalaho,
better.
yeah.
Is playing a lot better than he was.
He started real bad those first 4 games, has been so much better. So the minute distribution has gotten much stronger.
Less minutes for Tomas. I think he was maybe being overextended.
He was injured.
Yeah.
I mean, he was injured. Looked much better yesterday.
Yeah, I think like Jerome plays better with Ace than he does with Adria. Parker plays a lot better with Ace than he does with Adria or with Jerome.
Imagine that.
Parker should never play with Adria.
A guy plays better with a better player.
You've done it. You've done it on the podcast, Slack, but we got to give Parker Garrett's his flowers. Like,
Parker Garrett's has gotten much better,
very well. Like he knows himself.
Yeah, he knows his limitations.
He works his ass off on defense, and he's probably one of the team's better defensive players.
Yeah,
and he makes shots when he has them. Yep, at a decent clip. He grabs boards when they're there. Like for a 6'2" guard, a 7.7 offensive rebound percentage is pretty damn good. A 13.5 defensive, that's solid. He gets steals. He's doing positive things, and that's nice. So there are pieces here, and he's getting more minutes. Yeah, and like Adria, this has not been working. Like he has, like an offensive rating of 73.8 is so
awful
bad. Like
it's hard to like. So if you're not a numbers nerd, like I guess the best way that we could probably describe it is like he's like 30% worse than the average Division One Division One.
What the offenses are now, we're like 35% worse.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. Yeah, it's bad. I guess I would say like it's good that they're playing better. Obviously, right? The next two games are going to be super tough. They play Nevada at home. Nevada's a top 100 team. That's hard. And then they go to USC, which, I mean, the point spread in that game is going to be 20 plus. So they're going to have to go there and try and play a top 25 USC team. And then it's like, okay, you come back for Eastern. Okay. So it's good they're playing better. They're probably still going to lose a bunch more games. The part that's troubling to me is it's hard to see the path forward right now. Like, it'd be one thing if I was like, okay, it's a new roster. They're just trying to figure out David Riley's system, which does rely on a lot of reads, a lot of quick decisions. That's stuff that takes time. There's no doubt about that. But I don't see like, like stylistically, we're not even playing that way, right? Like we're playing Andy Okafor, which God bless him. Like he has gotten so much. That's another guy gotten so much better. The post moves have improved a ton. Like
he faces up and takes guys off the dribble.
Like he's doing shit down there. That's great. And also he is absolutely not the kind of player that needs to be playing center in David Riley's offense, right? So like, I don't even know what we're trying to do here because this is not an offense that is dump it in and post it up, right? Occasionally, sure, but it's like that ain't it. Like they used to do that with Lawan Watts, but here's the thing with Lawan. Lawan was a really good passer when he wasn't throwing it into the 13th row. Like he could find a guy out of the post.
A willing passer.
Yeah. Okay. that is not Andy Okafor's game, right? Like when the ball goes in, I mean, maybe it comes out, but it's not coming out he's not finding a guy with a skip pass or something like that.
Yeah,
that's not happening. And so it's really hard to see how all these pieces are going to turn into something else. And
there's not a lot of 3-point shooting.
Yeah. And a lot of guys who seem reluctant to shoot, like, I don't know, man. It's really tough. They seem to be lacking confidence on offense. And again, like just sort of use the split the baby metaphor. Like I wonder if he has placed so much emphasis on defense and really not just leaned hard into what made him get the job in the first place, which was that offense, right?
If you're looking at the roster we have right now, like what you would expect off a Riley team, the starting five would probably be you got Morton running the point, and then you have Glass, Thrasterson, Ugbo, and Yalaho. And that's because you have four guys that can hit threes, and you have one guy that can drive, potentially drive and dish.
Yep.
And that, you have a big in Ugbo Ubo, I think.
I think it's Ugbo.
You have a big who is big enough to bang bodies inside but also can step out and hit a three if he's open.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lineup you would expect to see. You have not seen that lineup, and
not much. Some of that's injury. Some of that's injury.
But also, ND plays over half the minutes. He played for a 6'10" dude. That's a lot of 56%.
That is a lot.
Is a lot of minutes for a 6'10" dude. Especially one who, he's going to get fouls. Like he's going to draw fouls just because he absorbs them by being the guy protecting the rim and being the guy setting screens. That's who you absorb fouls in that situation.
Yep.
But still, like obviously Ubo has missed some action. He hasn't played as much because he's been injured. And then Tomas has been out or was out last game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, maybe we'll figure that out. I'm not sure, like Hildebrand against some of the WSCC schedule, I could see him being a fine off the bench player, but against these like top 50, top 100 teams, like he's struggling a little bit. And Favors, you would expect me to have said to put him in that lineup, but he is just not consistently hitting shots.
Yeah.
Like he is quite a liability on defense. It's
not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
Like his effort is really high.
His effort's super high, but he's just, they kind of have to hide him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
And
his deal is lateral quickness, not his.
He's such an in-between.
It's why he's a 3-point
size.
shooter.
He's such an in-between size, and he is he, because he's 6'7", should he pick up the 3 or 4? No.
Yeah.
He's going to get bullied by them, and so they put him on the 2, and that's rough. So but when he's on, man, he electric 3-point shooter when he's on, but that's only happened like once.
Yeah.
This season, season. So you just hope, that if you want to hope for the rest of the season, you hope Favors gets it going from outside. You hope Glass keeps pouring it in. Like, geez, like this is on track, one of the best freshman seasons we've ever seen at Wazoo. Like,
it will probably be the highest scoring.
Yeah.
Like honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, Clay was amazing, but he played for Bennett, and so he was really efficient. But
he just ran off, and Clay didn't ever command the ball. He ran off screens and shot threes. That's all he did. Yeah. He rarely went to the free throw line. He was not the player that we knew him as a junior, as a freshman. No. I mean, he could have been, but he was replacing Derek Lowe in that offense, is what he was doing, without as much ball handling. Right. But yeah, like there are pieces that you could say, like, if he deploys them better, and they could be better. Now, I don't think the ceiling is too terribly high, though. I don't think I mean, they're sitting 165 on KenPom right now, which is just.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this: if you had your druthers, and you're like, you were sitting down having a beer with David Riley, and you were like, you know what you should do, Dave? You should do this. Like what would you do? So what I would do is this. I would say, man, offense is what got you this job. Man, just lean all the way the fuck into that offense, and whatever your best offensive unit is, just like play the shit out of that. Try to make that unit a little bit better defensively as you go, right? Sort of the opposite of the Kyle Smith strategy. Kyle's like, we're going to defend. We'll figure out the offense as we go, right? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is who you are, right? What's your best unit to give you the offense that you want? And then like lean on that unit, and like maybe the defense doesn't. But right now, honestly, their best shot to be better is to like marginally improve the offense. Like that. Yeah. It sounds terrible, but it's true. Like, you're just like, we have enough proof of concept that the defense just can't improve that much. And then focusing on the defense is not helping you. It's not helping you win, So lean all the way into that offense, do whatever you have to do to run the offense the way you want to run it. And just let that be your identity. I hate to say this, but defense be damned. Maybe figure it out as you go. But like, just score some fucking points. Like, they're playing so slow, like compared to where he's been. The offense doesn't flow. Like, get the guys in there who can pass. Get the guys in there who know what to do. Maybe there's nobody who knows what to do. But you could at least get some guys in there who, maybe sort of fit that scheme. What they're doing right now ain't it. He keeps insisting, as we mentioned, ND is playing tons of minutes, which, again, not his fault that he doesn't fit. I'm not sure why David Riley took him in the first place if this was the plan. I always thought, okay, good. Live body, 10 to 15 minutes, rebound, block some shots. Cool, because it doesn't fit.
But and
Riley also insists on trotting Adria out there over and over and over again, and he insists on sending out Hildebrandt to a lesser degree. But Rodriguez, man, he keeps putting him out there for 20 minutes a game. Like, he was playing high leverage against Bradley, and he was fucking terrible. Like, again, cool, they got him from Spain, whatever. But folks, I don't think anybody understands here how terrible the second division of pro ball in Spain is, and most European countries, not just Spain, most European countries. We're talking like the equivalent of low major college basketball. We're talking like SWAC type stuff with worse athletes is what we're talking about. And that's where he came from. And he wasn't great there, but you thought, okay, maybe he could be steady here. No, he can't. He's not good enough. So just like, man, bench the dude, lean into your guys, pick 7 or 8 guys, play them 30 minutes a night, and just try to be the best offense you can be. I think if you start there, I think your defense actually has a better chance at that point of coming along than doing what you're doing right now.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because if you're playing well on offense, you know, there's to a point when you're making it harder for the offense. Like, it's the opposite of what I said earlier. It's if you're constantly giving up buckets, it's hard to be as good offensively. The same way, if you're constantly making buckets, you get to run back on defense and set up your defense, and
you're putting pressure on the other team, right?
You put pressure on the other team to have to score, and like it just So I agree with you. Just lean into it. You know, like that's when he came here. We're like, okay, fine. Like, let's have those big ass offenses, and like we're obviously we're like, oh, we need our defensive coaches, but hey, you know what? If you could be like elite offense, hell yeah, I want to watch that. That sounds fucking amazing. Like, you know, like let's do like the air raid style basketball. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But like it's not delivering that way. And like you said, the tempo is his slowest tempo he's ever run. Like, it's crazy. Yep. Like,
by a long shot. By
the way, you remember who slowed his tempo down when he ran out of fucking ideas, and then his teams got really fucking shitty at the end? You remember what coach that was?
Right, I do remember. His first name starts with a K.
His
last name starts with a B.
Ken Bone, historically offensive focused coach, high tempo coach, had his last 2 seasons slowed the tempo down so much.
Just got slower and
he
slower.
had his worst teams. And he lost, like you said, lost his identity. Riley, it's too early to lose that. You got to bring it, like, just lean into it. You have some shooters. Guys weren't hitting shots earlier in the year, but they're hitting shots now. Like, Emily is hitting shots. Ace is a fucking bucket. Like, Ugbo, when he's out, he's hitting shots. Like, you got some guys that are hitting shots. Like, and I think Favors is gonna hit more shots. Like, like,
I think so too.
Garrett's, if he's open, he'll knock down, you know, probably 40% of those open shots.
Just going down the list, and this is not including Chaminade because these stats, Division II stats, don't get counted here. But look, Ace, 41% from 3 on 46 attempts. Yalaho, 50% on 3s, 26 attempts. Okay? Thrasterson, 44%, only 18 attempts, but 44%. Okay. That's proof of concept right there. Also, I don't know what Vavor's percentage is, including Chaminade, because he hit like 6 threes against 7 threes against Chaminade.
That's why I was kind of shocked to see his percentage. I was like, what?
Yeah, like, and for him, it's you just go whatever. Okay, so his percentage is 27%, 9 of 34. But if you factor in Chaminade, which I would, simply because a made 3 is a made 3. It doesn't matter who you hit it against. Like, that's fine. You've got some guys who can shoot. Let them go. I want Emmanuel Ugbo to shoot more. I know he can shoot. He needs to channel his inner Eric Strip and just like be like, I'm just going to shoot. I don't fucking care. I'm going to shoot all the time. I'm going to shoot.
Again, Ugbo is also a bucket. Ugbo should shoot more. Like,
he should.
He is a bucket. Like he's almost 40% from 3. He's 70% from 2s.
Yeah.
Dude, shoot more. It's fine. This is where, if it goes down to 60 and 35, it's fine. Like, that's still really good.
He passed up some open 3s yesterday where I was just like, what are you doing, my man? Shoot the damn ball. Like, and I'm not saying they were wide open, but it's like, but they were open. You know, he had time and space to shoot them, and he didn't. You know, Morton right now is reluctant to shoot. Like, we got a lot of guys who just look like a lot of indecision. And again, to me, when you look at the coach, it's like, that tells me they're overthinking. Like, and if they're overthinking, you're probably asking them to do too much. Like,
Ugbo is
man,
shooting
simplify
more than
this shit.
He's shooting more than he did at Boise State.
Yeah.
And he's making a higher percentage. He's clearly improved. He must like playing for Riley.
Yep.
Shoot more, man. Like,
go shoot. Yep.
And
I want to see,
seriously bench Rodriguez. Like, that you can't have that. level of play for half of the minutes in a game.
No.
Like, you can't do that.
You can't.
Like, they tried. Like, he's played half of the minutes so far, and they tried, and like, it's not working. And the quality of our non-conference schedule is lower than the quality of our conference schedule overall will be. Like, so he's going to play better teams more often in the conference schedule.
Yeah.
And this isn't with better guards, a lot better guards in the WCC. Like, it's not going to get any better. And so let's just.
And he's not even replacement level. Like, that's that's a term that people are familiar
Parker
with. I
is
think
playing better better.
Yeah.
And just
in every way.
In every way. You don't need to give him all the minutes. Just play some of the other players more minutes. Like Ace Glass is getting more minutes. That's good.
Yep.
But yeah, there's way forward. All right.
Yep.
We once again have talked about basketball.
Yeah, sorry, we got going on.
We
got going on.
I gotta wrap this up. I gotta go.
Yeah,
like
I know.
I promised I would go watch Below Deck with my wife.
Okay.
But yes, okay. Basketball, whatever. Let's hope it gets better. Better.
All right. Women's team. Finally won a game last week.
God.
Lost a heartbreaker today. I watched most of the second half. They were leading for most of the second half. Blew it at the end on a horrible defensive possession. Not too different from the men. Frustrating, but they've played a brutally tough schedule.
Yeah.
Today was at BYU.
Yep.
Really good team that they almost beat. I guess I would say this, like, the women, they're getting better. They've played a brutally difficult schedule. Like nothing, like the men have played
like
a much
they normally
easier schedule.
do, but
yeah.
But they're usually a little better than this, and they can handle it.
And the team is so young, and Cammie wanted to test them, so they're getting tested. They are getting better. There's no doubt about that. They're getting better. They're figuring some things out. It's just points are so hard to come by for them. Like, scoring is really, really tough, just as it has been pretty much ever since Charlize blew out her knee. Like, that's pretty much it. Yeah. And that's the hard part is, like, okay, I watch them play and I'm like, LA Villa is really, really good, but where are literally any other points going to come from? And they just cannot, they cannot count on points coming from anywhere else right now. And I don't know, maybe that changes when the competition gets a little bit easier in the WCC. The WCC in the women's side is not nearly as difficult as what it is on the men's side. So maybe that makes a difference. Maybe playing this super tough schedule pays off because they will have, played the hardest people they're going to play all year.
I mean, they still got
Texas
Tech at home and Seton Hall on the road.
Yeah. It's not going to get. It's still going to stay hard up until WCC play.
But yeah, this is legit. Like, WCC, the best teams they're going to play are Santa Clara, Gonzaga. They're 79-84 on Bartovic right now.
Yeah.
For reference, WSU's 192.
Craig, they shot 3 of 22 from 3 today.
But that's not like look at their season percentages. Like,
yeah, I know. That's not super out of character, which is like.
It's definitely the worst.
Hugely problematic.
It's definitely the worst of the season, but it only takes a couple misses to get there from what they're normally doing.
Right. And so I don't know, man. Somehow, some way, Cammie's got to figure out how to squeeze some more offense out of them. I don't know how you do that. They're still really young. They have a clear go-to player. She's kind of holding up her end of the bargain, but who's going to help her is kind of a rotating cast of. Who knows? And that's really hard and really, really tough. And of course they're playing without Colville right now, which, does make a difference, but she was kind of a mess offensively before she got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough.
And just being 1-8 sucks. Like,
it does. It sucks hard.
That's why you don't always schedule it. But then they've given away a couple of the ones that they probably should have won. Honestly, the only team that they're ranked higher than that they've played is Southern Utah, and they lost that one. Because Idaho's 123 on Bart Torvik.
Yeah,
They're not even that bad, and they should have won that game, but
should have won that game.
Yeah, but thank you, Bartovic, for giving us numbers like this now.
Yes,
I appreciate that. But yeah, so yeah, I think there'll be sunnier days in the WCC. They're going to be better in a lot of teams. They're not as good as the top teams, but they're going to be better in a lot of the teams in WCC. So they'll win some games, but man, it's tough to be. They're probably going to be at best 2-10 or maybe 3-10 headed into WCC play. That's rough.
Yeah. I mean, you got Eastern Washington next, should win that game. That one's at home. You know, Texas Tech, Seton Hall, you mentioned. Texas Tech at home, but, Seton Hall obviously tough. And then Penn, you got Penn away, tough matchup, but, beatable team. So, if they keep improving here, two of their their two highest game scores have come in the last 3 games. Of course, the one we didn't mention.
Don't worry about that one. They're not playing a team of that quality.
They will not see anybody like that the entire rest of the year. And that's always, of course, the big thing with women's basketball, right? The teams at the top are insane compared to everybody else. Yeah. LSU dropped 112 points on them while they scored 35.
LSU is ranked number 4 on Torvik, by the way.
LSU is averaging over 100 points a game, which is kind of absolutely insane and a real big disappointment when you consider Kim Mulkey as their coach.
I know.
We kind of want nothing but bad things for them, but
they literally have not scored less than 100 points in any game this season.
Correct. So anyway, I don't know, man. Got to find more points. Let's see. Volleyball season over. Soccer. Big news with soccer. We're big soccer fans. Todd Shulenberger is moving on. I don't know.
He took he probably had the best Wazoo athletic season, potentially team season, maybe outside of track, maybe ever.
I'd say the Rose Bowl in '97.
Okay, yes, but I
get your point. I mean, your point is well taken.
No team has ever run through a tournament like that.
Yep.
So that
our basketball teams haven't.
Yeah, I mean, the women's basketball team won the Pac-12 championship, but they did not get to the Final Four of the NCAA tournament, which that was just one of the most incredible runs I've ever seen.
And just consistently making the tournament, right? That's the other thing. Consistently making year after year after
year.
Then
that stopped.
It stopped.
And because he no longer had Morgan Weaver in the front, Trinity never made it to the field for a game. And after that, he didn't have that kind of world-class striker that could just grab you goals when you're bombing the ball down the field constantly. That speed demon like Weaver was and Trinity would have been, that would just finish those long balls. And he hasn't had that. They've struggled so mightily to score for years. So it's kind of
it's not beautiful soccer, man. It's not the beautiful game.
It's
a blunt force object.
We haven't even challenged going to the tournament for a while,
for a couple of years. Yeah,
and it's if you would have been hired away in 2019, would have been so bummed. But now it's
devastated.
The 6 years since then have not went.
No. COVID changed everything for him, man.
Yep.
I don't know what it was, but
I've said it.
I know there was an assistant coach. People have said, but
if COVID doesn't happen, Trinity Rodman plays at Wazoo, they win a national title, and
maybe,
and he's the greatest coach in Wazoo history. I mean, in any sport, and
possible.
But if Trinity probably stays at least 3 years. Honestly, if COVID doesn't happen, and because. She was like, well, I got nothing else to do. I'm going to the NWSL. No one had ever done that before. She was literally the first player to ever leave school early to go to the NWSL. So there's a chance she goes 3-4 years at Wazoo. Yeah. Although,
maybe at least a couple.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple.
There's some parental influences there. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's I don't know.
Look,
I hope they
coaches
go
have a
out
shelf
and,
life, right?
and
When Mike Leach finally left, like we were like bummed out, but also like I get it, and I don't think anybody was like mad. Like people were like, yeah, okay, like I get it. I mean, this, for those who follow the soccer team, I think it's similar deal here. Like Shulenberger did amazing things, and probably time for him to move on. And he got Ole Miss. Like he's going to Mississippi. He's going to the SEC, man. I mean, good for him, I guess. Like I don't know what Mississippi thought they saw given the last.
They saw that
years,
2019 College Cup trip.
I guess,
is what they saw.
Like, he had a team that was 500 in the WCC.
Had
for
a
2
lead
years.
in the semifinal, dude. Like they were
like. I don't know.
They were that close to going to the national title game.
They were. But anyway, so I don't know. I guess that's the deal. We don't know who the next coach is yet. But, excited to find out, excited for a fresh start, excited for a different style of play, man. Like Schulenberger's offense, like I said, was sort of like a blunt force object. Like they were just going to like pound shots at the goal and maybe one of them finally goes in and, it was not pleasant. It was not beautiful soccer.
Yeah. So many like long, like
players have gotten
yards.
more skilled, right? Yeah. Like players have gotten more skilled in the 10 years that he's been in Pullman. The hoof it up the field, knock it down, chase balls, like all that stuff worked for a while. And now it's like, as the players get more and more and more skilled when they come to college, like, man, the game, like, I just can't help but think the game was sort of passing him by a little bit. And I don't know. I'm excited to see a coach who maybe has some different ideas, maybe wants to play a little more possession, maybe is not trying to just, kick it upfield and chase down lost causes with the hope of getting a shot off. So,
all right. And hopefully, obviously we have an interim athletic director right now, but they're going to have to make a big hire there. Yep. Let's wrap this up, though. Okay, we got to give cross country their flowers. Jeff,
woo!
Cross country, what a fucking season. Give us the numbers.
Yeah. Oh, you need me to do that. Oh, have we entered the fact center?
You were rattling them off before
I did. I have it here. All right, so we got, forgive me if I pronounce these names wrong, Solomon Kipchoge finishes third. He finished third nationally. That's super rad.
The 10K, right? The 10K.
In the 10K, yep. And then teammate Evans Karui also won the honor of All-American while finishing in the top 20, so that's fantastic. The men overall finished 17th nationally in the national championship. And then the women, Rosemary Langisa was the top finisher. She finished 27th, and the women finished 27th overall.
So Rosemary again, also an All-American, right?
Yeah. So again, when you consider that, there's 350 Division I schools, and you finish 17th, that's a pretty damn good deal. I mean, you could basically say it's the equivalent of making it to the Sweet 16, right? That's a successful season. That's fantastic. And then the women 27th, again, maybe the equivalent of making it to the second round of a tournament or something. Again, that's a big deal. That's awesome. So fantastic. They all won, runners of the year awards for the WCC. The coaches were coach of the year. Like it was a really, really good year for cross country. So good for them. That's fantastic. Go fucking
cross
Cougs.
Country did that we would have hoped a lot of the other teams would have done at the WCC.
Yeah, when you drop down to the WCC, you dominate. Because that should be the deal.
Way to fucking go cross country.
Yes.
But yes, Jeff, with that I will say go fucking Cougs.
Wait, hold on. I got to start the music. Jeez, man, you took me by surprise here.
But I'm going to say it anyway. Go fucking Cougs. I can watch Below Deck.
All right, here comes the music. Here we go. Hold on. Can you hear it? Yep, there it is. Yeah, there it is.
Go fucking Cougs.
All right, go fucking Cougs, Craig. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Although, if you don't get vaccinated, you can still be the interim head coach at Cal. That's possible. Still don't recommend not getting vaccinated.
In one of the most famously left cities in the entire country.
I know. And then, hey, unions. Unions kick ass. Support
Hell yeah.
unions. Don't drink your coffee at Starbucks. Those fuckers are anti-union,
Fuck 'em.
right? So support union people. And what else? What am I forgetting? Anything else?
Go Miss Rachel.
All right, yeah, go Miss Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck genocide.
Free Palestine.
Absolutely.